Mark, I know you're busy now working to sort of add to the squad here. Can we go through a list of some of the names that have been floated towards Rangers in the last 7 days? Rob Keenan, where are you at with him?
We're making progress. There's a number of targets. As you can imagine, we have to be discreet and work to get the deals done. But we're making good progress, and hopefully a positive few days ahead. So it's about making sure it's right for all parties, and that's the main aim of all our actions this week in our meetings. But we are making really good progress.
But an offer accepted for Rob in his case, someone you can speak to and would like to bring here.
I'd like to bring him. He's a very talented player. But as I say, we're just near the end, hopefully, of good negotiations. But he's indeed a talented player, known very well from a younger age. Technically very gifted player, 6'3", comfortable championship level down south, and if we can get him, it'd be a good addition.
John Eustace is another player you've worked with in the past. Is he someone you're speaking to? How far is that down the line?
It's really looking at the squad and saying, what do we need? So it's got a young, hungry squad that wants to come and play here for the club, but at the same time you need one or two senior mentors to look after them on and off the pitch, not just on the pitch, off the pitch as well. So it's about getting the balance right, making sure they're good enough to go and deal with 45,000 out there, but at the same time what they bring to the club, as I say, away from the pitch itself. So it's about us doing our homework, getting the balance right, and as I say, people like John Eustace are few and far between.
Is he a potential skipper then? There's some suggestion you would bring him up here and perhaps...
We're just having, as I say, it's just a chat and see how far we can take it, no more than that at the moment.
Jens Jonsson is another player you've been linked with, who played in that under-21 championships. Is that a name you are looking at, or is that one?
As I say, I've got to be honest, that's all news to me. I've been given a number of names last night, but I understand why. It's the situation the club's in at the moment, but we're making good progress, as I say, on a number of fronts, and hopefully over the coming few days we'll have some news for you.
Two more, if I may. Danny Wilson, one in particular out of contract previously from Rangers. How far discussions got with him?
Again, he's one of a number of players, and as I say, if you put all your eggs in one basket, I think you have a problem in this game. So right now we're looking at various options. Does it work for both parties? Is it right? Does it fit into the squad? Is it the right mentality for the squad? And as I say, he's a very good player, of course he is. So it's us looking at the various options, no more than that.
Just finally, Scott Allen, is he a player you've looked at that's impressed you, or someone that's been alerted?
It's another one that I've been, again, one of 100 players given to us. But right now, it's us doing our homework, and that's the important thing. Talking, and we've got to create an environment here where talented players want to come and play for Rangers. The training ground, the stadium here, we have to make the right environment. If we can do that, then we'll attract the right players. So right now, there's meetings taking place, and hopefully we can make some good progress.
Mark, are you optimistic you can get some deals done this week?
We'd like to. You look at the situation is the first competitive game is 25th of July. So we have to be aware of that. The pre-season programme is tight, so we have to work on that. But we can't rush into it. The biggest mistake we could make would be to panic and get the wrong players at the wrong time. We have to get players who add value here, and I keep saying that time and time again. So I'd rather not rush into it, but take my time, make sure we get the right people.
And as mentioned, Eustace is a chap you've worked with before. Can you give us an insight into what sort of character, what sort of professional this guy is? Obviously been around the block a while.
Now, people like John are ultra professional on and off the pitch. They're great role models. They're playing the game at a very high level. 33, 34, 35 years old. There's a reason why. They look after themselves, they train well, they eat well, they conduct themselves well, and they are that mentoring position for the younger players. They need to look at these older players and say, how do they perform like that for so long? What they're doing well, what can I learn from them? And people like John, as I say, an outstanding professional, a credit to himself. You look at his record, where he's played at, and you look at the win ratio when John's playing is really important. Had a big role to play at Derby over the last few years. So someone I know very well, someone I've always been impressed with, and someone we're just chatting to and see what can be done.
Are you getting to any stage with any targets that perhaps say, well, I've got an offer from England and perhaps the Championship is not where I want to play in Scotland just now? Has it got to that stage with any of them?
No, not at all. I think that the key thing is come here. I came here for the first time last week, and I spent the whole weekend in Prague talking about Ibrox and the training ground. Magnificent. World-class facility. So we have to get players up here. When they come here and they see the size and stature of the club and the history, then we have a fantastic selling point. But we want players who want to come here and play for Rangers. I don't want players saying, I could have gone there, I should have gone there. They don't interest us at all. We have to make sure it's players who want to be here and who can perform out there and add value.
And that would act as a great pulling power, overriding any kind of, say, negative point of the club not playing at the top level.
Absolutely. If I hear players say, I might go there, well, you do what you want to do, but you won't interest us. It's players who passionately want to be here, want to get better, and want to take the club forward, and we have to do that. You know, we can't rush into it, we can't make poor decisions now, but we must take the club forward.
Mark, what are your pre-season plans? Do you have any yet?
Yeah, we have the structure in. David and I, obviously, we're looking down at a pre-season plan means many things. It means that the games itself, it means the training schedule, it means meeting with the staff and preparing every single day to make sure that environment is right for the players, because everything is about getting right for the start of the season. So there's a number of fronts to that question, or a number of answers to that question, but all the work's being done, and we're in a good place right now, and that work will continue this week. We meet the staff on Thursday and Friday just to fine-tune and look forward to welcoming the players back at the weekend.
How difficult can it be at this stage to find opponents? Because I assume that they've already lined up their games and so on. Is it still possible?
Yeah, of course it is. Yeah, no problem at all. And it's about contacts and making sure the games are meaningful, not just in terms of the quality of the opposition, but there may be other reasons behind it. You know, you may be looking at certain players and seeing how you can work with that club and learn from that club, etc., share ideas. So a lot of thought goes into the games, and we'll have a good programme.
In terms of time restrictions and maybe even finances as well, is it likely that the Rangers won't venture too far then? Is that the assumption?
Yeah, I think if we're going to venture, it's going to be worthwhile. Everything is geared towards, as I say, the start of the season. So why travel necessarily? If it's worthwhile, we'll do it. But right now, I prefer 1 or 2 shorter trips, play the games, get the guys together, because we are bedding in some new players, hopefully. So again, it's getting the balance right and making sure that programme is suitable for them.
The club is obviously wanting to sell out all the season tickets. Do you feel when you're looking for players that you need to attract somebody or some people who are really box office?
No, I don't think so. I think, maybe I'm wrong on this one, I think we have to show the supporters that we're signing players who are hungry, have development potential in them, and can play a big part in taking the club forward over the next couple of years. That's what we have to do. So I hope very much. I think marquee signings are dangerous. I'm not always a big fan of that. I think we have to just go and do our homework, do our research, and make sure we've done our due diligence. If we've done that, then we make our call, and that's the key for me. But as I said, young players who have got that development, that hunger, that spirit, and also the capability of playing in front of a crowd of that size outside. You know, that's the big thing. You look at many young players, hugely talented, but they can't play in front of the huge crowds in the big stadiums.
So would you say then that the profile of the squad perhaps that you're looking to put together is going to be younger, talented players with 2 or 3 of the kind of Eustace type person that you talked about in leadership?
Absolutely. I think if you look at our squad from the club we just came from, at Brentford, our average age was 23 and a half, I believe, and we had a 33-year-old and a 34-year-old in that. So big fan of that, really big fan. Love taking young players in the academy if we can, but they've got to be good enough. That's the ideal scenario. You have a production line from your academy, you plant them in here, the fans are passionate for that, and those young boys are the heartbeat of the club, but they've got to be good enough to go and do the job out there. So if the players are available in the academy, certainly we'll promote them and work with them. But as I say, if not, we use a loan market, we go and do hopefully some astute signings. But as you rightly say, 1 or 2 senior players to mentor. Like any business, you need those senior figures with experience.
You haven't. You said that you hadn't met Dave King yet. Are there any plans to go ahead and do that?
I'm sure there will be going forward, but as I've been in Prague, got back late last night, straight here this morning, and up here now for the foreseeable future. So I'm sure that will happen in the near future.
Mark, the fixtures came out last week, the league fixtures. How do you and Davey kind of take a look at your opposition? Do you look at DVDs from last year, try and get in watch games of them this season? How do you go about that?
We do what we have to do. You know, squads can change. You can watch the games from last season and half the squad has changed. So our job is to do our homework, look at individual players, look at their strengths and weaknesses, look at how we can exploit those weaknesses. And that's how we'll always do analysis, and that plays a big part in what we do. It's a huge part in what we do. Just drip feed into the players each and every day. And it's always a positive outcome in terms of how we're going to impact the game. But as I say, it'll be up to us to do our homework and make sure we're best prepared.
Okay, last question.
Well, just obviously you have to do that with your own players as well. Is it awkward trying to find out about your squad that you've got here when you know you're not even training yet?
Yeah, I think it's anyone going to any job, not just football. I think anyone going to a job, it's about them getting to know me and me getting to know them. Likewise, the staff and getting used to surroundings. But that's our job, you know. But at the end of the day, as long as we've all got the same aim, which is to take the club to where it needs to be, then we'll be in a good place. What we can't have is any breaking the ranks at all, and if that happens, we'll weed it out very, very quickly. But I'm convinced that the staff and the players will be focused on taking the club back to the top.
I think when you were presented as manager, Mark, you said that you hope to have time to speak to the previous managers here. Have you had a chance to speak to them?
Yeah, I've tried to do that. I'm conscious it's vacation time. I'm very jealous of that, but it's vacation time. So when they get back, I'm sure we'll have those conversations.
And a quick word on John, the fan, 100-year-old.
It's magnificent. I hope I look that well at 80, let alone at 100, but I thought he looked tremendous. and I thought it was a great gesture by the club as well. But just a fantastic occasion, 100-year-old season ticket. I think it's magnificent.